is Sam Meirowitz, and he is a former prosecuting attorney joining us live this morning. Sam, always good to see you. How are you doing? Thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Regina. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. Well, we saw that verdict yesterday. Our team covered it very extensively here on Live Now from Fox. So for those viewers who might just be getting caught up, we learned that Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty on 5 of 6 counts. So all of these counts, these charges, how many years in prison is Ghislaine Maxwell looking at from this point on? I know a sentencing has not been scheduled yet.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting question, and this is the part that I think everybody is sort of hanging on the edge of their seat for. The sentencing guideline says you can get a maximum of, I think, 65 years in this situation. However, the judge has a lot of leeway between the minimum and the maximum sentencing. The judge can also look at concurrent versus consecutive sentencing, which basically means that the lesser charges get wrapped up in the largest sentencing charge. So the time would be whatever the largest charge is would end up covering the smaller sentencing charges. Or consecutive is how you get to the 65 years. But the most interesting part of this is the concept of downward departure. And so with downward departure, the rule is that you can actually, the judge can actually decide to give a lesser sentence, lesser than the minimum even, if there are certain mitigating factors. And the reason why everyone's on the edge of their seat about this is, well, what would be some mitigating factors? And some of them would be, well, is Ghislaine Maxwell going to cough up names of other people that might be prosecuted? Is she going to assist the prosecution of other people? And if she does, and she provides a lot of information about other potential crimes that have been committed that she's aware of, then she might be able to help reduce her own sentence. And so that's why everybody's sort of on the edge of their seat to see what happens here, because it is the opportunity for her to possibly assist the prosecution for her own benefit.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into my next question, Sam, is the fact that we have been following this entire situation at this point for decades. We had Epstein on trial before he killed himself in prison. So do you feel, kind of going off of what you just said, that this Epstein-Maxwell whole sex abuse case is, over in a sense? Or, does it still have time to, really blossom into something else if she does do exactly what you just said?
Oh, I don't think it's over. I think that the Southern District is going to be very aggressive on trying to find out if there are more sex abuse that went on by other people than just Ghislaine Maxwell assisting and Jeffrey Epstein. We've heard time and time again in the news about close relationships with high-profile figures between Jeffrey Epstein and people all over the world. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here in terms of who else might be potentially prosecuted.
Yeah, about moving forward. A question I have for you, because you've done so many trials where, and I'm sure sexual abuse involved. These victims took the stand and said things that could have been and were very obviously very hard for them to share. So after this verdict, how do these victims and girls that testified, now women, go about living their lives? Do you feel like a lot of them could become activists and maybe release their identity, or do you think it would be a secret?
Well, first of all, I commend them for having the courage to come forward and tell their stories. And this has been said many times before, there's really no upside to this for them. It's if anything, it's a cathartic experience for some, where they feel like they've been able to tell their story, and when a verdict comes down, and there's a conviction, there is a sense of relief that somebody believed them. And I think that's one of the most important things for a lot of victims, is the sense that somebody took them seriously, that they believed their story, and that there were consequences to the conduct. But no, I don't anticipate that the pain will go away. I have represented victims of sex abuse and sex assault, and they will tell you that while coming out and standing up for themselves is a major accomplishment in the process to recovery, it doesn't end there. And so these are lifetime repercussions, and it's why the charges are so serious. It's why the punishment is so serious. Some people may choose to be activists and have their names revealed. Many do not want to have their names revealed. In fact, I oftentimes, in the clients that I've represented, they've told me that if their names are revealed, then they don't even feel comfortable going forward with the case. And so what I've done a lot of times is moved the court to keep their names anonymous, as is the case here. I know that the defense tried to do this, allow their witnesses to remain anonymous, which I think may be another argument that they're going to try to make for appeal, although I don't think it would be successful.
Yeah, well, definitely a lot to unpack there, as that verdict was announced right before the turn of the new year. So as always, Sam, thank you for joining us and breaking down all of this information today and throughout the entire year. We hope you have a happy and safe new year, and we'll definitely be chatting with you again soon. Thank you so much.
The pleasure. Great seeing you again, Regina, and Happy New Year.
Thank you.